Welcome to Coffee and Tantrums, the podcast for teachers and parents tackling child behavior challenges head-on. Hosted by Kevin Kranson, a seasoned teacher with 10 years of experience, including 2 years running a behavior unit and a master's degree in school counseling. Join Kevin each week for expert tips, practical strategies, and answers to your questions. Let's turn chaos into calm together.
Welcome to Coffee and Tantrums, your go-to podcast for navigating behavioral challenges in schools and at home. I'm your host, Kevin Kranson, a seasoned teacher and school counselor with over a decade of experience. Today, we're exploring the powerful role of play in improving both behavior and learning in children. Whether you're a parent or a teacher, this episode is packed with insights and practical tips to help you harness the power of play. Let's get started. So, I'm going to begin by talking about the importance of play, and by understanding why play is so important. So play really is the natural way that children communicate. Children don't grow up speaking. They grow up playing. And playing is how they learn about the world around them, about the power that they have, about the goals they can set, and about who they are as a person. So play is not just a way for children to pass the time. It's a critical component of their development. Through play, children learn to solve problems, interact with others, and develop their creativity. It also helps them manage stress and understand their emotions. Research shows that incorporating play into daily routines can significantly improve a child's behavior and academic performance. As a teacher, I would use play as much as I can to help children understand complex lessons or just to promote positive behavior among students. There are different types of play, which I'm going to go ahead and explain now, and they all have different benefits. So the first type of play we're going to discuss is free play. Free play is unstructured play where children use their imagination. This type of play fosters creativity and independence. It allows children to make their decisions and solve problems on their own, which boosts their confidence. Personally, free play is my favorite type of play. It really gives children power. They can control everything. They really get to control how things are done, which, like I said, gives them power that children really need. Especially children with behavior problems, they don't really get that power at home. I mean, if you think about it, the school system hasn't changed in like 100 years. It's really sit in your desk, listen to somebody talk, and that's about it. Raise your hand if you have a question. Like, you don't really get to control your environment. You don't get to control what you really want to say. And that's where play and free play is so important. What I would do is I'd set up my classroom where there's just a bunch of things they can play with. We have sand, sensory bins, bouncy balls, marbles, almost anything you can think of. And when I did free play, I'd actually like to have the kids like even control it with me. They would make their own games. They would actually tell me what to do when we were playing. And during free play, you can also kind of narrate what the child's doing and kind of see their emotions through their play. So if they're building a castle and they're smiling, you can say, you seem so proud after making that castle. That castle made you proud. And it's just really cool to see the kids light up and they realize, yeah, I am proud of what I did. So yeah, free play is a great type of play. In the classroom, you could probably use a lot of like brain breaks. Just have little stations for kids to play at. And let them do what they want to do, use their imaginations. The second type of play would be structured play. Structured play is activities with specific rules or goals, such as board games or sports. Structured play teaches children how to follow rules, work as a team, and handle competition gracefully. We teach children how to read. We teach children how to do math. And if they have trouble with a math problem, we show them step by step what to do. But we really don't teach children how to follow the rules. Most teachers will just put it up on the board once, leave it there, and expect the kids to know it. But really, rules and how to follow them is something that should be retaught every single day. And structured play is a great way to do that. It also helps you build relationships with your students. And you can even argue that it's going to help with standardized testing because it'll help them follow the rules. Also, structured play could be playing sports with them, which teaches them about losing. I mean, sometimes they're going to lose and they have to learn how to grow from that loss. Structured play is another great type of play that you can do in the classroom. Usually for structured play, I like to kind of incorporate it with the lesson. So I might turn the math activity into a board game. Or for structured play, it would be out during recess. Another type of play is physical play. Physical play are activities that get children moving, such as running, climbing, or playing tag. Physical play is essential for physical health and helps children release energy, which can improve focus and reduce disruptive behavior. As I previously said, the school system really hasn't changed in 100 years. They just sit in a desk all day and there's no real movement. If it was up to me, we'd have recess 3 times a day, just because children, especially in the elementary age, need that physical play to really grow. And what's really sad is a lot of, parents just don't have the time. I mean, they're working so many jobs, or there might have been a death in the family, and they just don't have time to take the kids to events outside of school. And that's really how they grow, is by having opportunities to run, to climb, to play tag, to do all those things. PE's cut to where sometimes it's only 2-3 times a week. So it's just really useful to find ways to incorporate physical play into the classroom. I know I went to a lesson where I went to a training where they said to only teach outside, and they developed play lessons outside where we could teach kids science through outside activities. So yeah, just finding ways to incorporate physical play would really help the kids grow. Another type of play, and this is a play that I use a lot, the parents and teachers can both benefit from. It's called social play. Social play is play that involves interacting with others, such as role-playing or group games. Social play helps children develop important social skills like sharing, negotiating, and understanding others' perspectives. This is really great if there was a big problem in the class, like if there was a fight or if there was a big disagreement or something. You can take the kids and you can really have them act out what happened, and they can kind of begin to see the other person's side. An example of this might be, let me think. An example of this could really be getting the teacher's attention. So you could have one kid act out. How should you get it? A good way to do it. So they'd raise their hand, wait for you. Another kid might act out the wrong thing, yelling your teacher's name, yelling your first name, standing up, running around the classroom. So they really get a chance to kind of interact, and then someone might actually be the teacher, pretend to be the teacher, and see how frustrating it is when other people are shouting out when you're trying to talk. There's really ways that you can use role play to sort of help children see other people's side of the situation and help them see how you solve problems. And that's something that I think we should do every day as well, is some form of role play or social play. And another type of play that I've kind of mentioned and embedded in all the other plays is just educational play. And educational play are games and activities designed to teach specific skills or concept. Educational play makes learning fun and can reinforce academic concepts in memorable ways. Again, I found that kids really don't respond too well to worksheets. And if you can turn it into a game, it's going to really control discipline management. And educational play is really the best way to do that. And again, if you're a parent too, it might be a little bit more difficult. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. But you can kind of try to turn their homework into games. Find ways to make it fun. An example of that might be if it's for math, You could just have them like stack cups and then put multiplication problems on it, like 3 times 3, 2 times 4, and they have to stack and build houses with them, but they have to solve the problem before they can build the house. You can even make it more like abstract. Like in science, we would do, you give the kids like 6 sticks, and then they'd have to make a catapult with the sticks and launch a marshmallow. So there's many different ways that you can actually make it more engaging and turn things that you don't think could be turned into play. So now I'm going to go over some ways that you can integrate play into daily routines. And this can be done at home or in the classroom. So the first thing you can do is play-based learning activities. You can incorporate games and play-for activities into lessons. For example, and this is the biggest one I use, is turning something into a scavenger hunt. So instead of just having kids solve reading problems, like read a passage and then answer a question, you can have them read the passage and then put all the answers around the room, or put all the questions and put all the answers around the room, and then have them actually try to solve it, like as do a scavenger hunt. And what I would do is I actually let kids kind of hide it from each other and put them in really crazy hiding places. So kids had to actually think and figure out, wait, where is it? And that kind of gave them their own little brain break in between. Sometimes I'd even put the problems upside down. So the kids would have to find a way to read it upside down, which really actually kind of made them have to go slow. And it really made them want to find the solution because they were able to find it upside down. Another big thing that you can use is PlayStations. And this is pretty common. They set up different PlayStations in your classroom. And you can also do this at home, where you can just set up little stations across, and then the kids will get into a routine where you all have to do is build a couple things, make a couple stations, and then they can just rotate. Or Monday can be this station, Tuesday can be this station. But that's definitely something that I like to do, is just having PlayStations. It can be a reward. It can be a calm down if a kid's upset. They could just go to the PlayStation. Just, you don't want to make it too rewarding, but it is another way you can use it. Another type of play is recess and breaks. So again, recess is always going to be structured play. It could also be free play as well, but recess is always going to be a great time. And then you can also give breaks during the day to really just incorporate play. And then breaks really ensure that children have the right amount of physical activity. And it helps them sort of restructure their focus, and it's going to let them get all that negative behavior, all that excess energy out. Another way that family can incorporate play would be through family playtime. I dedicate some time each day for family play. It strengthens families' bond, and it also improves. It provides a model for positive play behavior. It's really going to show children what to do when you lose, what to do when you win, how to work together to solve problems. You can do board games. You could even do phone games, something that's going to something you can do as a family is what I would do. As a teacher, and you could probably find ways to do this too as a parent, you can incorporate play into transitions. So if your class is going to the bathroom, you can make that into a game. If the class is transitioning down the hallways, you can turn that into a quiet game. There's many different types of games you can do for that. I would like to do quiet game was a big one, and then I let one of the kids be the person try to get everybody out. Another game for lining up is you would have them just list colors and or list shapes or list something, and then the second someone gets it wrong, you're done, and then you can see how long the class can do it. As a parent, and I'm sure you can come up with games, probably in grocery stores, how many red objects can you find? What's the cheapest object you can find? What's the most expensive object you can find? Really just find ways to create play and to promote critical thinking. So going on from there, let me see. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the question and answer part. Right now I use ChatGPT to come up with the questions, but if you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments and I can answer them in the next podcast. So the first question that was provided to me was, how can I encourage a child who is reluctant to play? My big advice is to find what they really like. Every kid has something that they are really, really into. It could be the color purple. It could be Pokemon, Daniel Tiger. It could be a kid who was obsessed with Zelda. Really do what's called an interest survey, where you find out what the kid really likes and sort of use that. If a kid's reluctant, I also might kind of take him and watch two other kids play, or watch other kids play, and kind of talk with them about what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and sort of make them feel more comfortable with how the game works. You could also sort of give them power. A lot of times it's just giving them power sort of makes it way more enjoyable. But I would never really force a kid to play who doesn't want to play. So the final piece of advice is just give it time. Give it time, and eventually they will want to play. And then another question I got was, what if my child prefers screen time over physical play? And that's something that's definitely becoming more common with increased usage of phones and iPads. My advice to that is to go ahead and set balanced screen time limits. So definitely just set times where, hey, we can do screen time, but only for 30 minutes. Set a clear expectation for the time. But then when they're done, you can try to give them more engaging physical activities. Find what they really like to do. And that might take some experimentation. They might not like running, they might not like basketball, but all of a sudden they like skipping. And skipping is what we're going to do. And go ahead and really give them a sense of control. So try to you could be okay, when you're done, do you want to do basketball or do you want to do football? Or you could even be well, how much time do you think you need on the phone? And then maybe kind of you could set do you want 5 minutes or do you want 10 minutes? And they're going to pick 10 minutes. But by actually giving them the choice of 5 or 10 and them getting to pick 10, it might make it way more rewarding. And then when you end it, you can even say, hey, we agreed on 10 minutes. You chose 10 minutes. So that might help them kind of get off of it. And then just really try to find something physical that they really like to do. And then the last question is going to just really be probably for more of a teacher. How do I integrate play into a busy school curriculum? You're going to want to definitely just look for opportunities. Even if it's a couple minutes and it's just a brain break, that's something that's definitely defensible. In that, if admin comes by, you're the brain break gives them a moment to just focus and get all the energy out. And you're going to see that once they get all the energy out and they're calmer, they're going to behave much better for you. And you're actually going to get a more productive lesson by taking those 3 to 5 minutes doing a brain break. And then for recess, I always recommend just playing with the kids. That's another way you can incorporate plays, by you joining with them. So that's all for today's episode on using play to improve behavior and learning. Remember, play is a powerful tool and can make a significant difference in a child's development. By integrating various types of play into daily routines, you can help children learn, grow, and thrive. Thank you for joining me on Coffee and Tantrums. If you found this episode helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more helpful tips and insights. Don't forget to share this podcast with other parents and teachers who might benefit. Until next time, keep your coffee strong and your tantrums short.
Thank you for tuning in to Coffee and Tantrums, where we sip strong and handle tantrums with grace. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Join us next time for more tips and insights. Remember, little play can go a long way. Until then, keep your coffee strong and your tantrums short. Stay playful and positive. Thank you for tuning in to Coffee and Tantrums, where we sip strong and handle tantrums with grace. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Join us next time for more tips and insights. Remember, little play can go a long way. Until then, keep your coffee strong and your tantrums short. Stay playful and positive.